Are you the one who overcharged my kid yesterday?
Ma'am?
Don't play dumb.
Whoa!
How about you eat the loss?
Hey!
Damn, that's everything.
Yo, she just
I didn't do
jumped it.
anything to you. Maybe you should think about...
28-year-old Marcus Williams, a street ice cream vendor who's been serving the downtown Austin area for the past 3 years. Marcus isn't just any vendor. He's actually a college graduate with a degree in business administration who started this ice cream cart as a side hustle while working toward opening his own dessert shop someday. Before we get started, where are you tuning in from? Drop your country or state in the comments. And hey, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's the time, because what's about to happen next will leave you speechless, and you won't want to miss stories like this. Everyone in the neighborhood knew Marcus. He was always friendly, always had a smile on his face, and made the best homemade ice cream you could find on the streets. We're talking unique flavors like lavender honey, Mexican hot chocolate, and his famous Austin Weird, a combination of vanilla bean with local pecan praline and a hint of chili powder. People would literally wait in line for 20 minutes just to get a scoop of his stuff. Marcus had all his permits, all his licenses. Everything was completely legal and above board. He'd set up his cart every day around 11 a.m. near the corner of 6th Street and Congress Avenue, right in the heart of downtown Austin. It was the perfect spot. Lots of foot traffic, tourists, office workers on lunch breaks, and families walking around on weekends. On this particular Saturday afternoon, it was one of those gorgeous Texas days, sunny, about 78 degrees, just perfect weather for ice cream. Marcus had been there since morning, and business was booming. He'd already served probably 50 customers by noon, and the line just kept coming. Now here's where our antagonist enters the picture. Her real name is Jennifer Morrison, a 42-year-old marketing executive at a mid-sized tech company in Austin. But after what happened, the internet knows her as Ice Cream Karen. And trust me, that name is going to stick with her forever. Jennifer was walking down Congress Avenue that afternoon with her two friends, Stephanie and Lauren. They just finished brunch at some upscale restaurant nearby and were doing a little shopping. According to witnesses, Jennifer seemed to be in the mood even before she got to Marcus's cart. Apparently, the restaurant had messed up her order and she'd already made a scene there, but that's a whole other story. As they're walking, Jennifer's friend Stephanie points out Marcus's ice cream cart and suggests they grab some dessert. The other friend, Lauren, is immediately interested and they start walking over. But Jennifer, right from the start, has this look on her face. You know the look I'm talking about, that suspicious, judgmental expression that just screams trouble. They get to the cart, and there's about 3 people ahead of them in line. Marcus is serving each customer with his usual friendliness, chatting, making recommendations, the whole deal. Jennifer is standing there with her arms crossed, tapping her foot impatiently, already annoyed that she has to wait. When it's finally their turn, Stephanie steps up first and orders a scoop of the lavender honey. Marcus scoops it up, hands it to her with a smile, and she pays. Lauren goes next and gets the Mexican hot chocolate flavor. Both women are super friendly, thanking Marcus, complimenting the flavors. Then it's Jennifer's turn. Marcus looks at her with his signature smile and says, "Good afternoon, what can I get for you today?" And Jennifer just stares at him for a solid 5 seconds without saying anything. The energy immediately shifted and people nearby started noticing. Finally, Jennifer looks around at the cart, at the hand-painted sign with the prices, at the display of flavors, and then back at Marcus. And then she says, and I quote, "Do you even have a permit to be here?" Marcus, still trying to keep things friendly, nods and says, "Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I have all my permits and health certifications. They're posted right here if you'd like to see them." He points to a clear plastic sleeve attached to the side of his cart where all his documentation is displayed, which is exactly what the city requires. But Jennifer doesn't even look at the permits. Instead, she says, "I find that hard to believe. You people are always setting up these carts illegally and bringing down the property values of our neighborhoods." You people. Those 2 words. The moment she said that, everyone in the vicinity went silent. Stephanie and Lauren, her own friends, looked absolutely mortified. One of them actually grabbed Jennifer's arm and whispered, "Jen, what are you doing? Let's just go." But Jennifer shook her off. Marcus, to his credit, kept his composure. He took a deep breath and said calmly, Ma'am, I assure you everything I'm doing here is completely legal. If you'd like some ice cream, I'm happy to serve you. If not, that's okay too. Have a great day. That response, that professional, dignified response, somehow made Jennifer even angrier. She stepped closer to the cart and raised her voice. Don't you tell me to have a great day. I know what you're doing here. You're probably not even reporting this income, are you? You're scamming the system while people like me work hard and pay our taxes. Now, at this point, multiple people had their phones out. This is Austin, one of the most progressive cities in Texas, and people were not about to let this slide. At least 4 different angles of what was about to happen got captured on video. Marcus remained calm and said, "Ma'am, I assure you all my income is reported. I'm a registered business owner. I really don't want any trouble. Please, let's just both move on with our day." And here's where it gets absolutely insane. Jennifer, in a moment of pure rage and entitlement, reaches over the counter of Marcus's cart, grabs one of the tubs of ice cream, the lavender honey flavor he'd spent hours making that morning, and just dumps it on the ground. We're talking a full half-gallon tub just splattered all over the sidewalk. But she didn't stop there. While Marcus stood there in shock, Jennifer grabbed another tub, this time the Mexican hot chocolate, and dumped that one too. And then she grabbed a third container, his special Austin Weird flavor, and poured that one out too. 3 full tubs of homemade ice cream, representing probably 6 hours of work and about $75 in ingredients, just wasted on the concrete. The crowd that had gathered let out this collective gasp. Someone yelled, "Are you serious right now?" Another person shouted, "That's destruction of property." Marcus finally found his voice and said, "Ma'am, you need to leave right now or I'm calling the police." His hands were shaking. You could see he was fighting to keep his emotions in check. Jennifer smirked, actually smirked, and said, "Go ahead and call them. They'll probably shut you down for good. This is America, and we have standards. Maybe you should go back to where you came from and sell your ice cream there." That last sentence, that's the one that sealed her fate. Because Marcus Williams, born and raised in Houston, Texas, 3rd-generation Texan, his grandfather served in the U.S. military, and she had the audacity to tell him to go back to where he came from? The crowd erupted. People started yelling at Jennifer, calling her out, telling her she was racist and disgusting. Her 2 friends were backing away, clearly wanting nothing to do with her. Stephanie was actually crying, saying, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was like this." Jennifer, realizing that maybe she had gone too far, tried to save face by saying, "I'm not racist. I just think people should follow the rules." But nobody was buying it. Someone in the crowd yelled back, "He has all his permits right there, and you didn't even look at him. You just saw a black man with an ice cream cart and decided to destroy his property." At this point, Marcus did call the police. While they were waiting, Jennifer made another huge mistake. She tried to leave, but the crowd wasn't having it. About a dozen people surrounded her, not threateningly, but making it clear she needed to stay and face the consequences of her actions. She started yelling about being held against her will, which just made her look even worse on all the videos being recorded. When the police arrived about 8 minutes later, they found a scene of chaos. There was ice cream melted all over the sidewalk, a crowd of about 30 people all trying to tell the officers what happened, Jennifer demanding that Marcus be arrested for operating illegally, and Marcus standing quietly by his cart, clearly upset but maintaining his dignity.
They talked to Jennifer separately, and according to witnesses, she kept insisting she'd done nothing wrong, that Marcus was the problem, that she was just concerned about illegal vendors in her city. The officers explained to her that she'd committed destruction of property, potentially a hate crime given her statements, and that she was going to be cited and possibly arrested. Jennifer completely lost it at that point. She started screaming about how she knew the mayor, how she'd have their badges, how this was discrimination against her. Classic Karen behavior amplified to the maximum level. The officers, who were incredibly professional throughout this whole thing, calmly explained that she had 2 options: accept the citation and leave peacefully, or be arrested for disorderly conduct on top of everything else. She chose to accept the citation, but not before the officers made her take responsibility for the damages. They calculated the cost of the destroyed ice cream, the lost business while Marcus had to clean up and restock, and told Jennifer she was being issued a citation for criminal mischief with a court date in 3 weeks. As Jennifer was finally leaving, escorted by the police to make sure she actually left the area, she made one more fatal mistake. She turned back to Marcus and the crowd and said, "You'll all see I was right. I'm the victim here." Someone in the crowd yelled back, "The only thing we'll see is you getting canceled." And boy, were they right about that. Within 2 hours of the incident, the first video hit TikTok. The person who posted it, a college student named Amy who'd been walking by, captioned it, "Karen dumps ice cream vendor's entire stock on the ground after telling him to go back where he came from. This happened in Austin today. Let's make her famous." The video got 50,000 views in the first hour. By that evening, it had 2 million views. Multiple other angles of the same incident started popping up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. People were stitching the videos, adding commentary, doing reaction videos. The Ice Cream Karen hashtag started trending. Internet sleuths got to work, and within hours they'd identified Jennifer Morrison. They found her LinkedIn profile, her Facebook page, her company's website where she was listed as a marketing director. Screenshots of everything started circulating. People were digging up her old social media posts, finding other questionable things she'd said over the years. By Sunday morning, less than 24 hours after the incident, Jennifer's employer had been tagged in thousands of tweets and comments. People were threatening to boycott the company if they didn't take action. The company's social media pages were flooded with comments demanding Jennifer be fired. The company, wanting to distance themselves from the PR nightmare, released a statement by Sunday afternoon. "We have become aware of a video involving one of our employees engaging in behavior that does not reflect our company's values of diversity, inclusion, and respect. Effective immediately, Jennifer Morrison is no longer employed by our organization. We apologize to the victim of this incident and the community at large." Jennifer got fired. But the internet wasn't done with her yet. People found out what gym she belonged to, what coffee shop she frequented, what stores she shopped at. They started calling these businesses and asking if they really wanted to serve someone who'd been caught on camera destroying a black vendor's livelihood and telling him to go back where he came from. One by one, businesses started banning her. The gym revoked her membership. A local salon where she'd been a regular customer for years posted on Instagram that she was no longer welcome. Even her homeowners association released a statement saying they were investigating whether her behavior violated their community conduct standards. Her personal social media accounts got absolutely destroyed. She'd made the mistake of not immediately deleting or privating them, and thousands of people flooded her pages with comments. She eventually deleted everything, but by then, screenshots of her past posts had been archived and shared everywhere. Jennifer tried to do some damage control. She posted an apology video on a burner Instagram account that someone found. In the video, she was crying, saying she'd had a bad day, that she wasn't racist, that her words were taken out of context. But it rang completely hollow because there was no context that could make what she did okay. The video got ratioed into oblivion and just made things worse. Meanwhile, something beautiful was happening for Marcus. People started organizing a GoFundMe to help him recover from the destroyed inventory and lost business. The goal was set at $5,000. It hit that in 3 hours. By Monday, it was at $50,000. By Tuesday, over $150,000 had been donated. The local news picked up the story, and Marcus did an interview where he spoke about the incident with incredible grace. He said, "I don't hate Jennifer. I feel sorry for her. What she did was wrong, and she needs to face consequences. But I hope she learns from this and becomes a better person. As for me, I'm just grateful for all the support from this amazing community." That interview made Marcus even more beloved. People started calling him the most wholesome man in Texas. Food bloggers and influencers made trips to Austin specifically to buy ice cream from his cart. Some days his line was 2 hours long. He had to start bringing extra inventory just to keep up with demand. Several investors reached out to Marcus about helping him open that dessert shop he'd been dreaming about. A local restaurant group offered him a partnership deal. A Food Network producer contacted him about potentially doing a show. All of this because people saw how he conducted himself during the worst moment of his working life. The court date came 3 weeks later. Jennifer showed up with a lawyer, hoping to fight the charges or at least minimize them. But the judge, after reviewing the video evidence and hundreds of letters from the community expressing support for Marcus, was certainly unimpressed by Jennifer's defense.
But the judge, after reviewing the video evidence and hearing testimony from witnesses, wasn't sympathetic. Jennifer was found guilty of criminal mischief and ordered to pay restitution to Marcus for the damaged goods, plus a fine, plus court costs. The total came to about $3,000. But that financial hit was nothing compared to everything else she'd lost. Her career in marketing was essentially over, nobody in Austin would hire her, and her reputation had spread nationally. She ended up having to move out of state just to try to start over somewhere people didn't immediately recognize her. Her friends from that day, Stephanie and Lauren, both posted their own statements online condemning Jennifer's behavior and apologizing for not doing more to stop her. They said they'd cut ties with her completely and had no idea she harbored such hateful views. Some people felt the consequences were too harsh, that everyone deserves a second chance, that cancel culture had gone too far. But most people felt that Jennifer had canceled herself. She made a choice to destroy someone's property, to make racist statements, to display behavior that revealed her true character, all while knowing she was being recorded in the year 2024. Marcus ended up using some of the GoFundMe money to not only replace his lost inventory, but to upgrade his entire operation. He got a newer, bigger cart with better equipment, he expanded his flavor menu, and he started donating a portion of his profits to a local organization that helps small business owners from underrepresented communities get started. 6 months later, Marcus opened his first brick-and-mortar location, a beautiful ice cream parlor in East Austin. The grand opening had a line around the block. Local officials showed up. The story had come full circle, from that horrible Saturday afternoon to Marcus achieving his dream. As for Jennifer, last anyone heard, she'd moved to a small town in another state and was working a job completely outside her field. She deleted all her social media and basically became a ghost. Some might say she got what she deserved. Others might say the punishment exceeded the crime. But everyone can agree on one thing. Those few minutes of rage destroyed her entire life. So what can we learn from this absolutely wild story? First, think before you act. Jennifer's moment of anger cost her everything: her job, her reputation, her community, her friends. Was it worth it? Obviously not. Second, racism and entitlement are never okay, even when you're having a bad day. Jennifer claimed she just had her brunch order messed up, that she was stressed, that it wasn't really about race. But when you tell someone to go back where they came from based on how they look, that's racism, period. No amount of context makes that acceptable. Third, in 2024, assume you're always being recorded. We live in a world where everyone has a high-definition camera in their pocket. If you're going to act like a Karen in public, it's going to end up online, and the internet has a long memory. Fourth, how you respond to adversity defines your character. Marcus could have gotten angry, could have responded in kind, could have let that moment break him. Instead, he kept his dignity, handled it professionally, and came out the other side even stronger. That's the energy we should all aspire to have. And finally, communities matter. The people who stood up for Marcus that day, who recorded what happened, who donated to his fund, who continued to support his business, they're the reason this story has a happy ending, at least for Marcus. We all have the power to stand up when we see injustice happening. This story blew up because it captured something we've all seen or experienced. The entitled person who thinks rules don't apply to them, who treats service workers or small business owners like they're beneath them, who lets their prejudices show when they're angry. The internet loves justice, and watching Jennifer face real consequences for her actions gave people that satisfaction. But beyond the schadenfreude of watching a Karen get what she deserves, this story is really about resilience, community, and the fact that hate never wins in the long run.
Marcus Williams is thriving. His business is booming. He's living his dream. And Jennifer, she's a cautionary tale, a warning about what happens when you let your worst self show in public. So the next time you're having a bad day, the next time someone's doing something you don't like, the next time you feel that rage building up inside you, remember Ice Cream Karen. Remember that your actions have consequences. Remember that one moment can change your entire life. And if you ever see Marcus Williams' ice cream cart or shop in Austin, stop by and get a scoop. From what everyone says, it's absolutely delicious, and you'll be supporting a genuinely good human being who turned a terrible situation into something positive. All right, everyone, that's the story of Ice Cream Karen and how she destroyed her own life in about 5 minutes. What do you think? Did she get what she deserved, or did the internet go too far? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next wild story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.